But on the bit about, yes, we're talking about these shady deals that supposedly, and no one is saying that that deal was shady, but I guess as the cookie crumbles, we'll find out when we read the documentation and we look at some of the issues that we've seen in the offshore situation. But ex gratia.
I have talked about it with clarity.
I want you to delve into it one more time. And it is this. Should we scrap it? Or should we proceed with it? Consider Kwame Pienim, for example, economist. He was speaking over the weekend and said, look, if you're a president and you come, and we have a vicious cycle where almost every 6 years we go to the IMF anyway. If you're a president, you come, you lead us into an IMF situation. You don't get the benefits.
No, you shouldn't
when you are no longer president. And if you're in some other capacity, minister or whatever, and you don't deliver, no ex gratia for you. I mean, there have to be some benchmarks. But on the back of that, there's been a tussle. The Daily Guide captures it this morning. Mahama Nana Akufo-Addo tussle over ex gratia. Former President Mahama.
What is the president saying? What is Nana Akufo-Addo saying? I'll take a stance.
So the former president has said if he gets the reins of power one more time, he'll scrap this bit. Ex gratia.
See, the thing is,
then
he can't, because you
says,
you have to go to Parliament.
And those are the processes.
Exactly.
As for the processes to be followed,
yep,
they are in there.
Fantastic.
But the point is, Nana Akufo-Addo says, but you are benefiting from it. You're a current beneficiary of the system. Then the former president comes to clarify in a tweet. He says, my friend Nana Akufo-Addo, really sad what politics can do to a fine mind. I don't take ex gratia. I receive a monthly pension.
So you're telling me that a former member of Parliament, Nana Akufo-Addo, did not know the difference between the monthly pension and ex gratia?
That's the bone of contention now.
Okay. Now, I think ex gratia should be scrapped, and I'll tell you why. We have the Social Security and National Insurance Trust. If you pay into that, depending on your profession and depending on your position, you may go home with your full salary during your pension. For some people, they get less. So these people who are already in the highest positions, who would go home with perhaps their full salary when they went on pension, are the ones who are still looking for more. Let's serve the needy, not the greedy. Ghana, listen. Serve the needy, not the greedy. You've been given so much. You have so much influence. Now you're going home and we collect these amounts of money and we say, take it. And if you don't go home and you come back to Parliament again, you sit there and you take it again. I mean, look, we have to question our elders. Not all our elders were brilliant. Let's accept that immediately. You know, from the days of slavery to now, not all our elders were brilliant. And some of them looked at the exigencies of the time and put certain things into law. But not all laws make sense. There was a time when slavery was in law. So are we going to say it was a good law? Ex gratia idea is a bad idea. If the people who are getting it will stand up and say, like former President John Mahama has said that, you know, I will speak to my people and I'll say, if I'm going to give you an appointment, you must accept you're not going to take ex gratia. And then they go through the court processes, go through Parliament and take it off our books. That would be a very good thing.
So that would be your approach?
Of course. We need to scrap it, but we need to scrap it lawfully. A president can scrap it. You know that. Because the president can propose it and get his majority in Parliament to scrap it. Seeing as the way we vote in this country is often just based on partisan lines, not even based on constituency lines. I doubt if people are having conversations with their constituents and their constituents are saying, hey, we don't want the e-levy. I mean, they go into Parliament, they are whipped in line, and they vote the party line. So, and that is why I think in the same way as broadcasters may have to be tested in some basic examination before they go on air or go on write in the papers, so too parliamentarians must have some basic aptitude tests. because I think some are just freeloaders.
When you read the Constitution, the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, it stipulates what the qualifications are, sound mind and all of that. Beyond that, you think we should still
many are mad.
Take them through.
Many are mad. Few are roaming. Because
are you suggesting most of our parliamentarians are not up to the task?
Not most. I think some are not up to the task.
Like which ones?
I will not name them, but some are not up to the task. And amongst the parliamentarians, they will tell you. It's a fact. In every field of endeavor, there is a small percentage that does most of the work. And the rest, freeloaders, they just come on through. So they are the ones who will be instructed, vote this way and let's go. Because I want to see the voting record of every parliamentarian. And I pray to God Almighty that we'll also get to a point where this secret voting will even stop. Why are you so scared that you don't want us to know how you vote? Whatever is brought to Parliament, you must be able to defend your vote.
But looking at the nature of our politics, it is the secret vote, for example, that gave us a Speaker of Parliament for the first time in the Fourth Republic who is from the opposing side. If it is known, your party system whips you. And if you are known to go against the party's stance, you know there are consequences, right?
So what are we doing with our Parliament? Is it party first before the nation?
I guess we all have contributed to it. We should ask ourselves.
I would have thought that, well, maybe I'm an idealist, but I think it should be the nation first, your constituents next, and then your party. Who elected you to go there? You know, are we serving the nation or are we serving the party? Which one is it? So maybe in Africa, we may have to go to the one-party state. So that way you'd have no choice but serve the nation. Because this whole partisan politics, look, the worst performing person ever in the voting process, in the vetting process in Parliament, got the highest vote. The worst performing ever. You know, confused, couldn't answer their questions, but they got the highest vote. Some people say, well, people were bribed. I don't know. Some people say, oh, the women said, oh, we have to stand by the woman. I don't know. Some people say, oh, the party said we should vote. I don't know.
Are you referencing Mavis Hawakumsin?
Of course. Nice woman, but she was the worst performing at her vetting. Compare that to the Supreme Court nominee. I'm not saying she should be skilled in the law, but you must be able to speak, you know, proficiently about what you're going to oversee. And I think that ministry is even another waste of money. The U.S. has one Department of Agriculture. One. And then
like in our case, it could be a ministry for agriculture.
And that is a bigger nation. Same with China. The U.S. has how many departments in cabinet? 15? The UK, 20-something? China, 21? And we have how many ministries? Why do we do this to ourselves? Is it because of black inferiority? Or is it because we just accept that we are not competent and we cannot manage a large group of people? Because we know who we are appointing and we know they are not capable, so we must share it. I mean, make it look like everybody is running a little lotto kiosk.
But don't you forget, when the president started on this trajectory and there was talk about it, he said he was a man in a hurry and that to achieve his goals, he had to put a lot more people to ramp it up.
A hurry into debt. And everybody blames it on Ukraine. And Ukraine in a war is still feeding themselves. What's wrong with us? Look, let me tell you what. Every job must be first about competence. And if you have the competence, find the purpose for which you want that job. And when you find the purpose, choose your focus and do it. Look, free education started by Kwame Nkrumah, great idea. People came, moved Kwame Nkrumah off, tried to destroy everything he had done. But the good thing is, a good follower of Kwame Nkrumah came and said, we will build more schools. We will get back to the free education thing. And another good follower of Kwame Nkrumah came and said, yeah, we will do the free SHS. Right? But for me, I said it from the start, that I don't think that Jospong wants his children to get free SHS. I don't think Kennedy Ejapon wants his children to get free SHS. I don't think, and a good number of people want their children to get free SHS. Even my younger sister pays for her child to go to a private school. So why do we want to use this political, talk to waste the state's resources? We don't have the money.
That brings me to the IMF deal. And of course, because in discussing part of our flagship programs and all of that, when they spoke about free SHS, they said it was poorly targeted.
But of course, that's what I'm saying.
We heard from the information minister say that, look, right from the onset, this was our positioning. We never meant to target anyway. I mean, if I'm reflecting properly what he said, we are reaching out, spreading the net. We don't want to skew it in a certain direction. Now we've got the IMF deal. I'm just putting it together so you can respond. We've got the IMF deal. 600 million has hit our kitty, the central bank. The president, in speaking about it on an international platform,
we must behave to get the next tranche.
We must. There's a stick.
We must behave.
And if you don't act right, you'll not get the carrot. You'll get the stick. But Mr. President was touting and how we got our staff level agreement probably in one of the fastest, and that 10 months we've got an IMF deal almost in record time and all of that. Yes, that was how he spoke about it. How do you feel about that IMF deal?
Sometimes when I listen to my dear brothers in the MPP speak, they sound like the team that goes to get a draw with another team, and they say, we won 0-0. How did you win 0-0? You're broke. Look.